giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom News Leaders.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Kling with Mediacom News Leaders. Right now we are talking with Joseph Gentzler, a performance artist with Comedy XPeriment. Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely, thanks for having us.
So for people who haven't heard or been familiar with Comedy XPeriment, tell us a little bit about what it is.
Well, we're an improvisational comedy troupe. We are the longest running performance troupe in central Iowa. So we've been around for 16 years. We'll turn 16 in May, so we've been around quite a long time.
Yeah, and you have a show coming up February 1st and 2nd for people to check out.
Yes, definitely. And the best part about improv is that it's always different. So if you've seen a Comedy XPeriment show before, you won't see the same one in February.
Tell us about the shows. What can people, I mean, obviously you can't know exactly what to expect.
No, absolutely.
But is there a general flow to the
Sure.
To the night?
So we play several different kinds of formats. Friday night, you'll probably find us playing a sports-themed show where we'll split the troupe in half and we will compete comedy game for comedy game, vying for the audience's attention. Those are always big, high energy. We're going for the short games. We're going for the big laugh. We're having a lot of fun. And then on Saturday night, we'll actually dabble and we'll do a little bit more long-form improv. So we'll get into longer stories, again with just one or two suggestions from the audience, but that's the best part. Everything that we play, you may have seen a game that we've played before, but the suggestions are always new, so the stories are always new.
It's always something different.
Yes.
So if people would like to get tickets, how do they go about doing that?
Well, they can get tickets at the Des Moines Performing Arts website, or they can actually get tickets at the Civic Center box office on the night of the performances, and the tickets are $12.
$12, a great deal. Talk about then preparing for a performance, because it is all in the moment.
Absolutely.
How do you go about preparing?
Well, we perform the same way, or we rehearse the same way that we perform. We play all the same games in rehearsals that you'll see on the show, but the difference is that when we're rehearsing, we're mixing up all the suggestions. So even when we rehearse, we're getting brand new, fresh suggestions. So if we've visited a character or a story, if we visited a relationship between two people in a rehearsal, it doesn't come into the show. Yeah. So everything is always different. When we rehearse, we're just pulling suggestions wherever we can get to create these new, fresh, exciting stories. Same way in performance. And
you said you've been involved with the group for about 7 years, is that right?
Yeah, 6 or 7 years, absolutely.
And what drew you to improv in the first place?
Oh, well, I've been doing improvisation since college, so I've been doing improvisation for 15, 20 years, somewhere in that, wow, 15 or 20. 15 or 20.
Time flies when you're having fun,
It does,
right?
doesn't it though?
Yeah.
So I've been doing improv for a long time with several different troupes. When I came to Des Moines and kind of established myself here, I started to make friends, and improvisers tend to find one another. It's a certain personality trait, so we tend to find each other. When I found Comedy XPeriment, I was actually a fan of Comedy XPeriment long before I ever joined. And they had a shorted performance once where they were missing a few extra players. They asked me to guest play, and then I never left.
Yeah,
so
the rest is history then.
Absolutely.
For people who might be curious about, how to get started in learning about improv in the first place, what advice would you have for them, and what kind of personality or bravery, I guess, does it take to jump into it?
It does. It does take a certain amount of personality. It does take a certain bravery to jump on the stage. But the thing I always tell anybody who's interested in improv is that everyone can do improv. Everyone can tell stories. Everybody has a story in their head. The bravery is being willing to visit it, right? Rather than to keep that idea locked in. For those who are interested in improv, I would say come to a show. Come to a show and see if you like it, see if you like the feel, the atmosphere, if you like the flow of the night, the games that you see, and then talk to the improvisers. We all have different experiences in improvisation. We all have different opportunities, and so I think talking to us and getting a sense of where could someone go to get started. There are classes that are offered in Des Moines. There are a number of theaters in Des Moines that offer some type of improvisation exposure and type of an introduction. So there's opportunities to get in if one was interested.
And if people maybe miss out on this show, when can they catch you in action once again?
We perform October through May, so if you miss us in February, come back in March 15th and 16th, come back in April on the 12th and the 13th, come back in May for our birthday shows on the 17th and 18th.
Oh, perfect. All right, well, we appreciate your time today. Good luck with the show.
Thank you very much.
We've been talking with Joseph Gentzler, a performance artist with Comedy XPeriment. Join us next time here on Mediacom News Leaders.